Hi, I'm Sunita Rodrigues. I love my kids, my husband, my job, and I love to cook. My mantra is to cook it simple, to cook it good, and to cook it with soul. I've trained as a chef at the Taj group of hotels and traveled to food festivals all over the globe. My tactics and tricks hold the secret to cooking up happy times. Join me on Meals on the Run with Sunita. Hi, you're back with me, Sunita Rodrigues, with some more great meals on the run. Nothing is so relaxing than spending a nice, comfortable evening catching up with your friends and colleagues. And if you do decide to stay in rather than go out, then I have some really good dishes that you can do on such a day. I'm going to show you some really stress-free recipes. I think this is going to make one big mouthful of a starter. Chocolate is a girl's best friend. Set to perfection. This is one dish I wouldn't mind spending a cold winter evening with. Classic recipe with a twist. It's great being a girl. Today I'm going to make some nice butterfly prawns with butter garlic, followed by a very comfortful and reassuring chicken stew with olives. And to accompany it, some veg crudités with a spicy bean dip. And of course, to finish this entire meal, some quick chocolate mousse. We're going to start out with the butterfly prawns. I have with me some nice, huge jumbo prawns. I'm just going to quickly clean these prawns. They're really huge. I'm just going to remove the head and most of the shell, and I'm going to keep the tail back. Off comes the shell and the tail. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to make it into a nice butterfly shape, and hence the name, butterfly prawns. This is a very, very easy dish to make. You can do it with prawns or you can do it with fish. Well, I'm going to devein them to remove that nasty vein on the inside. This is the cause of most of the stomach aches, and your prawns quickly go bad if they're left inside. So it's always a good idea, if you buy fresh prawns and if you want to store them, to remove this in advance and keep the prawns in. Just cut the prawns like this. Make a little bit of a hole inside and push the tails in. Just a little hole here and push the tail through. And if I buy many prawns, then I make them into little packets and store them in the fridge so that I can just remove what I require and use it on that day. A little bit of salt and some lime. This dish is really simple, so I'm going to squeeze all that lime in. It's a messy job, but well worth it. And the peppercorns go in and mix that up really nicely. Be careful that you don't break the lovely design that you've just made. Very gently, just mix them up. Heat up a pan. Crush a little bit of garlic here, and because they're called butter garlic prawns, I'm going to add just a little bit extra of garlic. Add just a little bit butter. I'm not really one who uses butter in all my food, but there are certain dishes where butter is irreplaceable, and this is one of them. I'm going to quickly chop up a red chili and put in all that into the butter. This is a really popular dish in restaurants all over the world, and it's so simple to make that you could do it at home in a blink of an eye. And now, because I've taken the trouble with my prawns, I'm just going to lay them out really nicely there. I love the smell of garlic roasting in butter. So you can see the prawns are turning a light coral pink, and that's them telling you that they're getting done. And they're pretty enough to serve for any cocktail party that you have. But of course, then you're going to have to use little smaller prawns. What I'm now going to do is snip a little bit of fresh basil into this. The prawns are roasting really nicely, and so is the garlic and the chilies. Make sure that the garlic doesn't burn. They're not going to take too long to cook, so you got to keep an eye on them right throughout. And keep my plate ready to serve up these prawns. The prawns have now taken up that flavor of the garlic and the chili, and they're ready to remove. So here they go. I think this is going to make one big mouthful of a starter. And it's just going to be drizzled. And now to finish it, a nice big sprig of basil. So simple, so easy, butterfly prawns with garlic butter. So I'm going to take just a small piece here. Butter, garlic and basil has a thing going here. And of course, the spiciness of the red chilies. This is a truly indulgent starter. Chocolate is a girl's best friend. So what's a girl's night in without some lovely indulgent chocolate dessert? Today I'm going to make a really quick chocolate mousse. I already have here some nice dark chocolate. You need to melt chocolate over a pan of boiling water because chocolate tends to burn really quickly. So my chocolate is melted. I'm just going to set it aside to cool down and just watch how quick and easy this recipe is. I'm going to use 2 eggs, separate the whites. Now I basically need to whisk up the yolks and the whites, but I'm going to do the whites first because I don't want to go into washing my whisker again. If I have any kind of fat on the whisk, it's not going to be able to whisk. So here goes. Put in as much air as you possibly can. You want a nice light mousse. Now that that is done, the rest is really, really simple. Into these egg yolks go about 2 tablespoons of sifted sugar. Before I add some cream, I'm just going to whisk this up very quickly. To this, I add about 2 tablespoons of cream and continue whisking to a nice frothy mixture. To this, I'm going to add my chocolate, which is cooled down. You can see that lovely brown, satiny chocolate go right in. About a teaspoon of fine cognac. Brandy, you can add a liqueur, you can add rum, you can add whatever is your favorite. And keep whisking it away again. And you can see the chocolate there blending ever so nicely with your cream and egg mixture. The very last step is to fold in this egg white that you've already beaten up earlier. So most of my egg whites in. And if you like, and I definitely like, you can also add in a few toasted almond flakes. Just 1 or 2 little turns and we are done. I'm now going to put this into this nice little glass. And look at it. Nice, rich and thick. And now I'm just going to garnish it with some more of those lovely flaked roasted almonds. And in this goes in my fridge for chilling for about an hour, and then it's done. Stew is the ultimate comfort food. So today I'm going to make a nice chicken stew. I've got some chicken over in my freezer. And I'm going to quickly marinate this with a little bit of salt and some crushed pepper. I already have a pot of boiling water here for some rice, so what better accompaniment to a stew? Some nice long grain rice, yeah? Put in a little bit of salt and we'll leave that to get done. Now as I marinate my chicken, I'm going to get ready to prepare the stew. I love the easiness with which you can do a stew. All you need to do is put everything in one pot and leave it to literally stew. I'm putting in a little bit of olive oil here. And I've got some mushrooms that I'm going to chop up into nice big pieces. So I'm going to start out with boiled potatoes because that's the fastest way that I can actually make this dish. I always keep boiled potatoes in my fridge. It comes in really handy. So in this oil go some onions, a little bit of cinnamon, cardamom, a few peppercorns, a sprig of the rosemary, and in go the pieces of chicken. You can use chicken breasts. It is faster to cook, but somehow I love the juiciness that a thigh has. And I recommend that you keep the bone on for a stew because of the additional flavor that it adds to it. It's like a one-pot meal altogether here. So leave that on high heat, let that brown nicely. I think stew is a perfect comfort food, especially on a cold winter day and on an occasion when you don't want to spend all your time in the kitchen and would rather sit and chat with your guests. In go my potatoes and my mushrooms. Add just a little bit of refined flour. The refined flour coats the meat and the vegetables and then thickens the stew. Just toss that up. Let it brown for just a little bit more, and then the part that I like the best. Pour in some nice red wine. I've used Madeira here. You can use whichever one you like. And it gives the stew a lovely, lovely glaze. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. You could add stock if you want to, but this thing's got so many flavors here that I think they're all going to leach out into the stew and it's totally sufficient. Well, my rice is done. I'm just going to quickly remove this off the fire. All that is required now are some lovely black pitted olives. And in my plate, take some rice, a nice bowl full there of rice, and to top it off, lovely comfort food. My chicken stew. So there, really simple, really fast, chicken stew with olives. I'm just going to dig into that right now. The olives, this chicken, the red wine, the spices, the rosemary, really got something going around there. This is one dish I wouldn't mind spending a cold winter evening with. Well, we're now going to make wholesome crudités, but with a difference. I've got here a nice spicy red bean dip. We'll start out with the dip. I've got some boiled kidney beans here. If you're using canned kidney beans, that's also fine. But try and keep most of the liquid out. 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, 2 tablespoons of yogurt, about 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. A little bit of olive oil drizzled over, and I'm done. I love a dip. I'm just going to blitz this. Now I have already with me a couple of vegetables that I'm going to place here. Regular vegetables that you normally have with crudités, carrots, some cucumber, some French beans, and there are a few that I'm going to roast just a little bit on a grill pan. I have baby corn. I'm just going to cut up these roasted bell peppers. Roasting mellows down the flavor of bell peppers and makes it so much more easier to eat. Well, it's really easy to roast a bell pepper. Quickly put it onto a skewer, put it on a fire, roast it, and then cover it with a closed napkin. These can also be marinated really nicely and put into a salad. Well, today I'm going to use them in this beautiful plate of crudités. I mean, I just love these vegetable crudités. They're healthy, they're good for your figure. Guys are not the only guys who watch our figure. We do too. I have now with me some cherry tomatoes, some potatoes, some paneer, which is cottage cheese, and some mushrooms. And I'm going to grill this very lightly on a grill pan with minimal oil. I'm going to brush some olive oil and wait for it to get really hot. I will cut up this paneer. And quickly put it on a toothpick. So it's easy to eat, a nice little finger food. In that goes on my pan, nice little ice cream cones. The same thing with the potatoes. I have some baby potatoes that have been boiled. You can use whatever vegetables you have in and around your house. I know that crudités are meant to be only with raw vegetables, but I like a mix and match of vegetables and cheese. Just adds so much variety, I think. I have some nice plump cherry tomatoes here that go back in the pan. And some mushrooms. Totally effortless. I'm just taking the vegetables, cutting them to size. Simple and easy. Keep the fire as big as possible. And if you like, you can just brush on just a little bit more olive oil. Brushing, incidentally, is a great way to reduce the amount of oil in your food. Wow, look at the color of that cottage cheese there. Nice and grilled. Well, this is a great vegetarian dish, but if you are a die-hard non-vegetarian, then of course you can put in a few pieces of meat inside, roast that and put that in as a dip too. The cottage cheese is done really nicely. I think I'll just lift them off like this. I like the tomatoes soft like this because the outside skin is blistered and the soft flesh inside adds so much more character than eating raw tomatoes. The same thing with the potatoes and some mushrooms. And there's one lone tomato here. And with that, we are done. Here, a plate full of lovely vegetables. I'm gonna quickly drizzle some olive oil over it all. Put in some salt and crush some pepper. A nice plate of wholesome vegetable crudités with a spicy bean dip. Beans are really high in protein, and I'm going to get my protein kick right now. That's so delicious. This is a meal that I could sit and eat entirely and still not feel guilty. Something waiting for me in the fridge. Now it's set to perfection. So quick to make, and I'm gonna finish it even more quickly. I love these roasted almonds. The chocolate and that brandy. It's great being a girl. So today, very effortlessly, we started off with those great butterfly prawns and garlic butter, then went on to our chicken stew with olives, great comfort food there. We made these lovely, delectable, quick chocolate mousse. And of course, to end it, this great, huge vegetable crudité platter with a spicy bean dip. I'm done for the day. But if you want to catch more great, classy, yet simple, stress-free recipes, then join me next time for some more meals on the run.